Welcome to True Health Tuesday's questions and responses. Let's get into sleep. Question 1. Sleep timing from Qualdqui. Dear Dr. Bergman, what's the correct time to go to sleep? Ideally, you're asleep between 11 and 1 o'clock. So between 9:30 and 10, depending on when you're going to get up. How many hours should I sleep? Optimal function is 6.5 to 7.5 hours for a human being. Children may need a little bit more. Seniors got to hold to that, because if you're sleeping 9 hours or more, you're not getting enough brain stimulus. And just know that the deep sleep is the key. So if you're doing everything, you're preparing your mind for sleep, doing journaling to quiet the overactive mind, you're reading, again, a paper book, non-electronic device, then you should be able to get into one rapid eye movement cycle right after another rapid eye movement cycle. So if you get 4 to 5 of those cycles a night, oh my gosh, fantastic. You're going to be waking up refreshed. And that's optimal function. Now, if you're a truck driver or you go to, you have inconsistent hours, firemen, policemen, just know that the optimal is to be asleep between 11 and 1 o'clock. And so rearrange your schedule accordingly. Question 2, mental health and sleep. From Just Made It 2, my sleep problem is caused by mental health issues such as my obsessive compulsive disorder and depression. Somebody replied to you, Brandon Jackson, I think rather a chemical, physical, and emotional stress is at the root. With that line up of symptoms. Have a gander at biotoxin illness. It has affected my nervous system and do a whole host of practices to keep the thing on tracks. Biosystems, you're looking at mold, toxins, things like that. And when you're looking at depression, impulse control, or OCD, all of these are features of the frontal lobe. And the frontal lobe is controlled by the cerebellum and back. So if you have these things, plus you've got the gut brain. So Brandon Jackson is 1434 is absolutely right. You've got to look at the physical, chemical, emotional stress. We've got to heal the gut to change the brain. And then that frontal lobe can be retrained. So physical stress, you're going to identify on static and stress x-rays to identify past injuries and your potential for recovery. Chemical stress, obviously poor sleep, but then poor diet, medications. Big contributing factors. And then look at the environment, electromagnetic fields, and then the emotional stress. Having this type of mental stress like depression, OCD for years, your brain can get hardwired into that almost like an addiction. And so you can reprogram that brain. I like neurolinguistic programming. That's one of my favorites. Emotional freedom technique is also excellent. Eye movement desensitization response. I look at Joe Dispenza's stuff. There's a lot of ways to reprogram that brain. And then looking at the physical, chemical, emotional stress, building up and helping that gut flora so you get the enteric brain, and just practice. You will get good at sleep. You will get good at brain function. It's amazing because it works 100% of the time. Just Made It. Let me know how you're doing. Question 3. From K. Schweitzer, troublesome and very painful numbness in the hands during sleep. Very cool. Feels like bone pain. It's also difficult to get rid of after waking up. It's not cool that you have it. It's cool that I know the answer. It happens to me when I do some physical work. What could be the reason? Perfect. All the nerves that supply the shoulder, elbow, and wrist come out of the neck. And so if there's a dysfunction in the neck, so you've got to get static and stress x-rays of not just the neck. Because if you have a lumbar issue, then your whole body could be leaning forward, and that can trigger these muscles leading to a problem. So look at the entire structure and do static and stress x-rays, and you're going to identify the thoracic area, cervical area, or lumbar area that is altering that structure. That's one. The other one, if there's been a long-term compromised neck issue, there could be a muscle imbalance. And this is super common where people are sleeping in a curled up position. But if there's a muscle imbalance at a forearm, that's going to cause that to contribute to numbness and tingling. When it happens after you do physical work, it makes sense because you're going to be straining and lifting. And if you have compromised nerve supply in the neck, anything you do, I mean, think of it, if I got compromised nerve supply to my hand and I put a tourniquet on it and then I do work, okay, it's not going to work as well. So if you have those compromised nerves in the neck and those nerves are compromised, and if the head's forward, that's compromising the blood supply, and then you do work, absolutely. Look at those symptoms not as a problem. They're an alarm telling you got a problem with the neck and thoracic area. Question 4 from Old Boy 900. How can I stop snoring? Is there any exercises for it? I heard one neuro-speech therapist saying it's possible to get rid of it. Absolutely, it's possible. One of my mentors, Dr. Jacobson, said, Bergman, you adjust this bone here, the spouse will pay the bill. And so sure enough, so when you're looking at it, you got two things. Most of them are in the upper cervical area. So you got to get to a good chiropractor that's familiar with assessing and correcting that area. You can also have thoracic area deviations causing your body to be off to the side, but it's really those nerves up top that supply the soft palate and also the sinus area, because if your sinuses are clogged, so then again, you got to look to the gut flora, because if those sinuses are clogged and that gut flora, you're releasing histamines, then you're going to breathe in through the mouth and your nose won't be able to pass that air through it. And that's going to dry out the throat and cause a number of issues. So look at the cervical spine and the gut health. If you have a leaky gut, we got to build that gut flora to make sure the histamines or the mucous membranes in the sinus cavities are working okay. If you do have a leaky gut or or histamine response, you can tell by looking at your legs, it's going to show up really good. If you have a pink hue to the skin and just touch it like that, and if your skin turns white, bam, that's it. That means you have excess histamines, and that's going to create the sinuses to be hypersensitive or to be filled up, causing you to breathe through the mouth. But then that loss of tone of the soft palate, which is controlled by the upper cervical, bam, that's going to be it. So get to a good chiropractor that takes an x-ray, can assess it, and takes another x-ray to show they fixed it and heal the gut. And then you can also practice buteyko breathing, which is in and out of your nose about 4 or 5 times, then blow all the air out. Again, your mouth is closed. Pinch the nose and move your head back and forth 4 or 5 times till you can't stand any more than breathe in again. Okay, and do that 4 or 5 times. And what that's going to do, that's going to start to desensitize the mucous membranes. But that's only a quick fix. Okay, look at the gut health and the upper cervical as the main source of it. Question 5. Extreme insomnia from Silver Dust CD. I literally stopped sleeping in 2004 at age of 37. One night I slept. From age 0 to 37, I slept fine. The next night, I did not sleep 1 minute. It went on for 3 weeks without any sleep prior to seeking medical attention, which was the beginning of my downfall with my health, and hospice was offered in 2012. I'm with you. It's a psychotic system that's out there. I have not slept in 20 years without the help of a drug. There you go. That's a clue. I've tried all natural remedies, sleep studies, shamans, spiritual healing centers, can never find a cause of my horrific insomnia. Okay, let's get down to this, because sleep medications actually are damaging to sleep. I know it sounds crazy, but you're only going to get around 13 more minutes of sleep a night. But when you read the package, it's fatigue as one of the effects of that medication. So we've got to go back to the basics, the 3 basics. Look at physical stress, because if you've been doing this for years, I'm telling you right now, there's going to be some type of physical stressor that's going to be a not really subclinical, but if you've had a chronic irritant in there for 10, 20, 30 years, and you're not going to be aware of it. It's going to be your new normal. So get your entire structure assessed. I'm guessing that if you look at your feet, your big toe will be leaning towards the other ones, because that is beginning bunion formation. That means a pelvis issue. So structurally, we're going to look at the pelvis dysfunction and a cervical spine, because that is the parasympathetic nervous system. Rest, digest, and repair is not working. Then we're going to look at the leaky gut, because that gut is where neurotransmitters are. So healthy fermented foods are going to be ideal. And it's interesting, study out of Glasgow, Scotland on sleep restriction therapy, which is what we teach. It was brilliant. One guy hadn't slept in over 30 years, same scenario that you're going through. And within 7 days, he was sleeping through the night. But you've got to address the underlying cause. Physical stress. Look at the entire structure. Look at the pelvis, the big clue. If that big toe's leaning towards the other one, that's a clue that there's a pelvic dysfunction. Pelvic and cervical, rest, digest, and repair. That's the parasympathetic nervous system. Then no electronics before bed. Also, look at your sleep environment. Make sure there's no electromagnetic radiation around there. Get a grounding sheet so that you can sleep on a grounded surface. Make sure that you've got good ventilation, that you're hydrated, that you don't drink coffee or watch TV or listen to any type of electronic stimulus before bed. And go through the whole basics. Look at the physical structure to see if there's a problem there and correct it. Again, that big toe leaning towards the other would be a clue of a pelvic dysfunction. And then heal the gut, get fatty foods, which are going to be a little bit longer to digest. So that's going to stimulate that parasympathetic nervous system. No electronic devices before bed, but you got to get that physical stress assessed. And then, since this has been going on for forever and you've been in medical hell, look at that neurolinguistic programming. Look at Joe Dispenza's stuff, Becoming Supernatural. Because your brain, when you've been in this state for so long, you were hardwired for stress. We got to rewire that brain for success and for sleep and for regeneration and renewal. And it is in your power. Let me know how you're doing, Silver Dust. Now, if your question wasn't answered on this, visit the drbvip.com site. That's drbvip.com. And I'll respond to the rest of the questions there. God bless you and good night, my friends. Oh, also, too, if you're curious why I have this weird background, check it out. 1, 2, 3. Wow, look at that. That's the farm, baby. Had to show that to you. I don't have bright enough light to use that as a background. Everything becomes black up here, but it's cool.